Hello and welcome to the POF Level 2 Firearm Cleaning video series. In this video we will be building on our first cleaning video by continuing into Level 2 cleaning. Level 2 cleaning is a bit more detailed and requires more disassembly with smaller parts that might be lost in the field. Because you can lose some of the small parts, we recommend performing this level of cleaning on a workbench. Let's start this process by disassembling and cleaning the firearm down to Level 1. If you're not familiar with that procedure, please review the Level 1 cleaning video. Now that you have your firearm disassembled to Level 1, let's continue into Level 2 disassembly. In the next segment we will be using a piston firearm to demonstrate the procedures, but the direct impingement procedures are very similar and the differences will be noted. Start by using a 1/16 center punch or similar tool to remove the firing pin retainer from the side of the carrier. Once the retainer is removed, you can tap the bottom of the carrier on the workbench and that will allow the firing pin to fall out the back of the carrier. After removing the firing pin, you can remove the cam pin by lifting straight up on the bearing and pulling it out. In this video we show a piston carrier, but a direct impingement carrier is basically handled the same way, other than you will need to line the cam pin roller up with a notch in the gas key and pull it up and out. After the bolt is removed, you can further disassemble it by using a 1/16 punch or a similar tool and pushing out the extractor retainer pin. You may need to apply pressure to the back portion of the extractor to relieve tension on the pin in order to remove it. Now that you have the bolt carrier group disassembled down to Level 2, it's time to clean. Using a nylon brush or a bronze brush and a cleaning solvent, scrub all the components paying attention to the firing pin channel, locking lugs, bolt face, ejector, and the extractor hook. Obviously you'll want to clean the firing pin and the cam pin at the same time. If you are cleaning a direct impingement firearm, you'll want to clean the gas rings and the tail of the bolt. You'll also want to run a pipe cleaner down the carrier key at this time. Once all the bolt carrier group components have been cleaned, reassemble them by inserting the extractor back into the bolt slot. Press down on the tail or the back of the extractor and insert the retaining pin. Next, take the assembled bolt and insert it into the carrier. If this is a direct impingement firearm, use a twisting motion. Once the bolt is seated in the carrier, insert the cam pin, making sure to align the hole in the cam pin with the firing pin channel. Now that the bolt and cam pin are installed, insert the firing pin and the firing pin retainer. Verify that the firing pin is locked in place by the retainer. One of the last steps in the Level 2 cleaning is to remove the buffer and buffer spring. To do this, use a punch to depress the buffer retainer detent and allow the buffer and spring to slide out of the buffer tube. You can now clean the tube, spring, and buffer. Next, apply lubricant to the spring and reassemble the spring in the buffer. Then slide the spring and the buffer back into the buffer tube, making sure to push the buffer past the buffer retainer so that they lock into place. Now you can continue lubricating and reassembling the firearm as you did in Level 1 cleaning.